Welcome to the Suburban Homestead blog and another video that we've produced, hopefully to show you a little bit about what we're doing here and maybe give you some ideas for things that you can do at your own suburban homestead. So what I'm working on right now is I've come to acquire some different old pallets, like shipping pallets, wooden pallets that would be used with forklifts, with stuff stacked on top of it. And these pallets were being thrown away, and so I figured, hey, why not put them to good use and repurpose them or recycle them. So that's what I'm doing here. Basically what we've done is we've taken the pallets apart, pulled the wooden slats off of the wooden rails, and basically we're rebuilding them. The reason I took them apart was because the original pallets were a little bit too large for what my purposes were, and so they needed to be a bit smaller, about 6 inches to a foot smaller than what they were. Otherwise you could just use the pallets as they are, but anyhow, we took them apart. I cut off some of the bad sections of the wood, and now we're putting them back together. And these pallet sections are basically 3 foot high by 4 foot long. What I'm going to be using these for is to build another compartment section for the composting system that I've set up. So my composting system has 3 different compartments, one for each stage of the composting, and this will be the 3rd compartment, basically for the stuff that's fresh plant material, leaves, stuff from the kitchen scraps, stuff like that, so that it can be put on there and start to compost. Alright, so if you'll take a look down here, camera person, you'll see I've got the wooden slats lined up. They're basically, well, depending upon what kind of pallet it is, could be anywhere from about 1/2 inch thick, which those are pretty flimsy, to closer to 1 inch thick, which these are pretty solid, and about 3 to 4 inches wide. And then you'll have a section that's more like a 2x4 that's used for the framing that these slats go on. And so what we're doing is drilling some pilot holes in the slats, and we'll take our nails here and nail those slats back into the 2x4 underframing. So the reason for the pilot holes is so that the plane that's going over will have a sense of direction. Now, the reason for the pilot holes is because the wood that's used for pallets generally is pretty rough and also usually pretty thick and difficult to nail through. So it's better to drill some pilot holes in those slats so that you can make sure that the nails you're nailing in go in correctly and don't bend over or go in sideways and split out the side of the wood. So that's why we're driving the pilot holes first. And what we've done is we've spaced the slats maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch apart, as you can see here, and that's to allow a little bit of flow where water and air can get through into the compost pile and out of the compost pile, so that the compost will decompose correctly like it's supposed to. It also takes up less material that way. So this section here will be added onto the other 2 compartments that we already have, and we'll put this section here that we're building will be added on to the side of this, across like that in an L shape. So this is a good way to make use of a piece of scrap pallet that might be otherwise thrown into the dump, filling up the landfill. And so it's a good way to recycle and make use of something that otherwise would be trashed. And obviously, well, maybe not so obviously, one of the reasons why using pallets for compost bin is such a good idea is because the compost is going to be breaking down, and there's going to be moisture and rotten material and stuff like that. If you go out to the store and you buy brand new wood, that brand new wood is going to be destroyed within a matter of a few months. So if you can take old pallets, you can use that for your compost bin, and then when it rots, just throw it away, and you really haven't wasted any money. Main investment in these is just the time it takes to cut the pallets or take the pallets apart and then put them into the arrangement that you want them. So thank you for watching the Suburban Homestead blog, and we'll hope you come back.